morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Matt.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Pop Pop.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Megan.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And go.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. We've already got a lot accomplished this morning by getting all of the chores taken care of. Well, I shouldn't say all of the chores. We've got all the animals taken care of. Now we've been working on greenhouses. What's neat to see is that we've been making a considerable dent into each and every one of the greenhouses. We've been pulling a lot of stuff from down around back and taking it up top. We have our beautiful hanging baskets, but not only do we have flowers, we have vegetable plants that we've been moving. We have broccoli, we have kale, we have Brussels sprouts, not to mention kohlrabi, various types of lettuce, red leaf, green leaf, Simpson, romaine, head. I mean, we could go on. Red beets, dill, parsley and celery, cabbage, cauliflower, and we better not forget about our beautiful sweet and hot peppers because we've got plenty of them. We have some beans, and there's plenty to talk about with the vegetables, but to finish it off, we have our cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, zucchini, and yellow squash. We could talk about a few of the fruits that we have here as well. Up in the germination greenhouse, we have some cantaloupe and watermelon seeded for ourselves. So that is very exciting. And we've also got tomatoes. Tomatoes everywhere. These are some 6-inch round pots of tomatoes that we had put together. We had the stake in there to keep them nice and true. Don't they look gorgeous? So it may not be easy to tell, but we actually have been moving quite a bit of stuff out of these greenhouses. With greenhouse number 4, our main focus has been getting the hanging baskets moved around. We're trying to create as much space as possible for each plant to grow individually. And we've been moving a lot of hanging baskets out and taking them up top because they've been selling. That's something the cattle have been missing, some delicious potatoes. Before we head up top, I wanted to show you that the pen full of calves is doing really well. We added some bedding today. We've also extended the wall. We've talked about this in a previous video, but we've made quite a bit of progress, you know, all the way to right here. It's quite a bit of space, and we've gone a step further into adding fill behind the wall. In the coming future, we're gonna have some exciting stuff going on right next to the greenhouse. And this is just the groundwork for it. Putting up the wall, adding the fill, that's a big help. We're trying to take our potatoes inside, but we've got a delivery truck here. We've got customers running around everywhere. You gotta be careful. Currently we're in the shop moving some stuff around. We just got our shipment of fertilizer in, so we use pelleted and liquid fertilizer. So we're moving the liquid fertilizer inside the shop so that it's not in the way. It is kind of difficult. It's not easy to store, but we have some large tanks that we can use. We don't have too much going on here at the farm today, so what we're gonna be doing is taking care of some odds and end jobs, and we're also going to be helping out with the farm market as much as possible because that is the big focus right now. It has been really busy. However, what I wanted to highlight in this video was how everything has been growing that we seeded and planted. It's been a lot of progress. The weather has been very nice. We've gotten some rain, which is very good. So probably this afternoon, once I have some time, we're gonna get out, and that's gonna really be the highlight of the video, checking on how all the crops have grown and some contrast between some stuff that we've seeded now and some stuff that we've seeded later on. Oh, it's gonna be exciting. I just can't get to it yet because I need to help here at the farm market, but when we have some time, we're heading out. Tell them what happens if you don't open up the lid, Daniel.
It just squashes.
Your tanks just compress, they go. I'm up in front of the farm market helping customers any way I can. Daniel and Dad just got some corn seed loaded on the back of the truck. They're gonna be making deliveries this morning. Hopefully they can get everything delivered this morning. They don't have anything scheduled to do this afternoon, but Dad said he's wants to get working on the tire on this tractor, and he also bought a new piece of equipment he's excited about. Something we don't discuss near as often as we should is how much we help out the customers when it comes to plants. Over my shoulders here is many different types of things that people will put into their gardens. Whether it's herbs, we've got some fruit in here, we also got the vegetables. Now granted, we do seem to know quite a bit about planting and raising different types of crops, but we don't know everything. So it's always important that we stay on our toes, we keep learning, and anything that we don't know, you gotta be humble about it. You gotta look it up. There are a lot of people that are coming here looking to start their garden. It may be their first time. So when they have questions, you need to be patient and answer them for them. Also, you need to help people realize that sometimes planting a lot of stuff in your garden might not be the move. We have seen many different people try and overcrowd their garden. Maybe try is not the right word. They just happen to be overcrowding their garden. A lot of people think when you go to a greenhouse like this, they're just trying to sell you anything. And that's not how it works around here. Although selling stuff is good for us, if you're gonna have a bad gardening experience, you're not gonna come back. So we try and help encourage and teach as many different people as possible. And one of the best ways we can do that is by making ourselves available, which is what we have going on today. We have hit a little slow time now, so I'm just bringing all the carts back down in front of the greenhouse. These carts are something that we've purchased more recently just to make sure that the customers have a more enjoyable experience. It can be kind of difficult carrying everything back and forth. I just like to mention things like this occasionally. It can be very daunting when you're starting a garden. For example, we've got all different types of cabbage and broccoli here, all different varieties of tomatoes. Like, what are you gonna be planting? We've also got strawberries and herbs. Can you put everything together in the garden? How far apart is stuff supposed to be spaced? How deep should I plant it? How often should I water? And those are just some of the surface questions that we get. You get into some deep stuff when you start talking about different types of fertilizers that you could use and what you can plant next to each other. I always recommend to anybody, if they're starting to do some gardening, ask questions. Also, do some research. It can be fun doing some research. Just made our way into lunch. It is Taco Tuesday on the farm. Grammy made some tacos, and then we've also got some sticky buns over here. She is spoiling us today. I just got finished with lunch, and I have a great opportunity to take the side-by-side out for a ride and check on how all the crops have been growing, and I'm gonna bring you guys along with me. Our first stop is rather close. It's right out here to the garden. We have some raspberries and blackberries, and then right down a few more rows, we have lettuce. You can see from the time that we had transplanted this lettuce, it has got some more size to it. That is really nice to see. We did run into a little problem where it didn't rain near as much as we thought it was going to, so we did have to replant some down at the beginning of the row, but up here, it's looking good. Now when we move up from our lettuce just a tiny bit, we have some dill that we had seeded, and the dill that was seeded is growing very nicely. We seeded the dill using our little hand planter, and we were concerned because we didn't have the right disc for it, but it seemed to have planted really well. And then last but definitely not least, out here in the garden, we have some red beets. Now we did our normal round beet, but we also did some cylinder beets just for Grammy. And I won't lie to you, off the top of my head, I don't remember where each is planted, but these red beets that we have are growing really nicely as well. The sprouting, or the seedlings that have come up out of the soil, I'm actually impressed by them. I wasn't expecting to have this nice of a stand with these red beets, but they are impressing us. And that's basically it for the garden. Everything that we seeded out here is growing well. I'm just stopping for a second, looking at the raspberries and the blackberries, and they're also doing really nicely. We try and trim these down every single year so that they grow back, and man, we end up with a lot of berries. It's a fun time. Now that we're finished here though, we're gonna take a ride back to everything else that we have planted. It's gonna be a little bit of a ride because we've got a ways to go. Beautiful day for a ride. Now there's a couple reasons I wanted to go for a ride on the side-by-side and see how everything was growing. A big reason is we received over a ½ inch of rain last night into this morning. So I'm thinking that's gonna boost things along. Also, we've had an extended period of time since we've actually been back to look at all the crops. So it's always important to go back and check on everything. And I'm thinking all that sweet corn that we had seeded under the mulch, oh, it's gonna be looking good. This is one of the campsites our parents would take us to when we were kids. It's a beautiful place. And I'm definitely gonna be bringing my kids camping here. Woohoo! Oh, this is a fun spot. Look at that, a beautiful wheat field. Woo. We'll be baling straw in no time. Oh joy. After a nice little drive, we've reached our first stop. We've got another beautiful wheat field next to us. Ooh, that's gonna be yielding really nice. But we're not here to talk about the wheat at this moment. We're here to talk about these peas. Now, it's no secret on the channel, me and peas, we're kind of friends. I eat them, they taste good. That's about where it ends with our friendship. But I guess a lot of the local people love eating peas because we end up raising quite a few of them. We've got this section of field where we have a few different varieties of peas planted. We have some sugar snap peas, snow peas, and then the shell peas. Here in front of me right now is some shell peas that we had seeded not too long ago. You can see we've got a beautiful stand here. They look absolutely gorgeous, and with the warmer weather we've been having and the rain that we received, these are definitely going to be growing really fast. As you look out through the field, you may notice there are some weeds here and there. We are going to have to get started on cultivating, but once we get these cultivated, I don't think we're going to have any problems. I think it's going to be another good year for peas. It just means more pain for us, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm just going to have to eat a lot of them this year, more than I did last year, just to show the peas who's boss. So far, the year has been really good to us. Growing conditions have been nice. So what we have here just looks great. We have seeded our next planting of peas. We've done up to 3 or 4 plantings of peas in the past, but then when we're harvesting peas, it starts to get into when we're harvesting other stuff, and we just don't have the time for it. So this year we're only doing 2 plantings of peas. So that newer planting that has just been seeded the other day, it is not up just yet, but when it starts to come up, we'll be sure to show you. On to the next crop. Let's see how the cold crops are looking. As you walk out through the field, you can see little strips of green going out through. That's always a wonderful sign. We haven't had time to do a really good investigation to make sure we haven't had any critters out here munching on it. But from what I can see very quickly, there doesn't seem to be too many. Now, these were just transplanted the other day. It does take a little bit of time for them to get acclimated to the soil, but that ½ inch of rain that we received is definitely gonna be helping. The crops that we had put into the soil, the cabbage, the broccoli, the kale, the kohlrabi, they all seem to look phenomenal. Now, some of you may be curious what we are doing here. Are we really just going for a walk through the crops, seeing how everything looks? The easy answer to that question is yes, we are just walking through the crops and looking at them. But we're trying to be very detailed as to what we look at. We're checking the leaves to make sure that we don't have any pest pressure. We're also looking at each of the plants to make sure that we don't see any disease forming on them. Something that if you're just walking through a field, you may not know what to look for, but we have been trained what to look for by my dad. He taught us quite a bit about this stuff. So that's one of the biggest things I'm doing. It's nice to come out here and just show you guys how everything is growing and how nice it looks, but it's another thing to investigate the plants to make sure we're not gonna have any problems. And as of right now, I don't seem to be finding any problems. Things are looking good. Hopefully the critters in the local area don't start to get too hungry and come hunting for them, because I think we are gonna be blessed with a beautiful cole crop. Here we have the field where we had just seeded all of our potatoes. I'm not expecting to find anything here. So if I did see something, I would be very, very impressed. Still a little bit early on for what we had seeded. But I think a few more days, we'll see potatoes poking out of the ground. It is funny how you can just look at this field and see nothing and just be like, oh, it looks like a blank canvas, nothing going on. But you go about 2-3 inches into that soil, oh my goodness, there's tons going on. Now we're gonna go to the thing I think everybody's kind of looking forward to, and that's how nice the sweet corn is growing. And by the way, I know a lot of you know that we've been picking rocks. Well, look at that giant pile behind me. That's a lot of rocks. That's quite a bit of rocks, I would say. Every single field that we have gone through and planted in this year, we've done our best to make sure we try and pick the rocks out first. And we've been pretty successful so far. Oh my, there is a lot of progress underneath this mulch. I see so much sweet corn. Wow. Wow, should we break it open so you can see? Might be a little hard for you guys to see. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at that. Wowzers. Let me just feel. Yeah, this soil down in here is probably about, I'd say 20 degrees warmer. Maybe even more than that, than the soil that is outside of the mulch. This mulch really acts like a greenhouse. It's easy to see. Look how moist that soil is. And some people always ask, how does it get water? How does it get rain? Well, as you can see, we don't even have to worry about that problem. Oh, we got corn over there. Weather is looking good, but I don't want to take up too much of this mulch just in case it does decide to get cold again. But look at that. Look at that corn. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, that's nice. And it is not just this row at the front. I can see it in every single row that we have sweet corn pushing up against the mulch. Wow, I am very impressed. This is really early for this local area. Look at that sweet corn. Wow. I would say our favorite planting method is paying off for us again. The fact that the sweet corn is that tall already, big time bonus. Now, it is gonna get a little cooler in the next couple days. It shouldn't hurt this stuff, but everything else that is under the mulch, ooh, it's gonna be good. I do think we have some sweet corn at the other end of the field that we planted on bare ground at about the same time we seeded this stuff. So we're gonna take a quick ride over there and look at that as well. I'm sure all of you are as excited about this as I am. This is so cool. I mean, what's not to like? Look at how beautiful this stuff is. I'm having a good day. I'm having a great day. It seems like every single row is like that one we were just looking at. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have so much sweet corn. The customers are gonna be so happy. All right, here it is. We have a few spots where the planter was down, but our mulch was not laying yet. And it looks like we have a few kernels that have popped out of the soil. Now, these were seeded the same day as the other corn we were just looking at. There's one right there. Here's one popping out right in here. There's another one. It's looking pretty good. We got a few more over here. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it looks really, really good. And to be honest, for the time of the year it is, it's really, really nice. But if we just look at this stuff right here, that's not under the mulch, and we go down a little bit further, same row, let's see if we can find anything in here. Oh yeah, look at that difference. It just goes to show why we like this method so much. There's another one. Wow. If you're planting sweet corn, this has got to be like one of the best advertisements for that machine that we use. That thing is incredible. Well, I think that's just about everything that I had to look at. I'm very, very impressed with how things have been growing. I mean, quite frankly, we've had the weather for it, but putting the weather aside, this sweet corn is the #1 thing that's blown me away. The peas look really nice. Oh, I hate saying that. They did, but this sweet corn just looks so amazing. Now that we're all done running around looking at everything, my assignment is here at the farm to help out customers. So not too much is gonna change, and I'm gonna just be answering any questions there are or loading stuff into cars. Well, I was working at the farm here for a little bit, then I ran home to check on Lauren. It was a good time because Callie just woke up from her nap. Both the babies were hungry, so I helped her get the babies all taken care of. And then after that, I was like, hey, could I take one of them to the farm with me? I ended up bringing Ronnie. We made one pass in the greenhouse and he fell asleep. So he's kind of been helping with customers, but we haven't been staying outside because it is a little on the toastier side today, so we don't want him to get too hot. Right now we're just outside making sure nobody needs help, and I think everybody is good. So we're gonna head back inside where it's nice and cool. But yeah, Ronnie's my little helper today. Well, everyone, it is pretty late here at the house. I ended up not being able to finish the video till it was late this evening. When I got home from work, Lauren and I had some things we had to do. Also, Callie is not feeling 100%. I think she's getting better. Just one of those days where she wasn't feeling the best, so we were trying to take care of her. But yeah, it's been a long day. I'm getting ready to turn in for the night. So that means this is where we're gonna end the video. If you have not already, don't forget to like the video, helps us out a ton. Also, if you're new here, try subscribing. We're trying to hit 200K. Ooh, we're on the way. But yeah, guys, this is where we're gonna end the video. You have a good day. Bye-bye.